Welcome, everyone. Today we're venturing into some genuinely unsettling territory. We're looking at stories that are truly unexplainable.
Yeah, incidents that really defy logic, defy scientific understanding.
Exactly. It feels like they've been pulled straight from, the most mysterious files imaginable.
Yeah.
And these aren't just campfire tales.
No, not at all. These are documented events, often with multiple witnesses, sometimes even scientific analysis involved.
But they remain stubbornly unsolved. So our mission today is basically to unpack these strange occurrences. We'll lay out the facts, the baffling details.
And maybe touch on some theories that try to make sense of it all.
Prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown. Because, well, sometimes the truth really is stranger than fiction.
Absolutely. We're focusing on events that, despite rigorous examination by investigators, by scientists, they've just left everyone scratching their heads.
These aren't just fringe ideas.
No, these are real mysteries where the standard explanations just fall short, leaving us with some profound and often pretty chilling questions.
Okay, let's kick things off. Transport yourself back to November 2nd, 1959, Evora, Portugal.
Right.
Doctor guides to Amaral. He was a headmaster at a local college. Looks out his window. Bright, cloudless day.
Oh.
And he spots something. Bizarre.
High up in the sky. Yeah, a metallic sphere just hovering there, unnaturally.
Imagine seeing that. A perfectly clear day, then this whitish blue, shimmering object.
An orb, right. No visible wings, no propellers, just moving in ways that defied known physics.
You would just hover for long periods, then suddenly zip off, impossible speeds, random directions.
Incredible. And then it just vanished.
Poof, into thin air. But the sky wasn't finished with Evora that day. Almost immediately, another object appeared. Bigger this time, like a two-sphere entity. The top sphere seemed solid, but the one underneath, it moved in this strange, wavy, almost jellyfish-like motion.
A jellyfish motion, that's specific.
Yeah. And hundreds of witnesses across town saw it too.
Yeah.
This oscillating thing was visible for about 30 minutes before it just silently sped off and disappeared.
But the weirdness didn't stop there, did it?
Not by a long shot. Soon after these things were seen in the sky, this peculiar cobweb-like substance started falling. Angel hair rain, they called it later.
Right. Angel hair. Dr. Amaral first thought maybe spider webs, like a mass migration thing.
That was his first thought. But the sheer amount of it, and the really weird part, these filaments just melted away if you touched them with warm hands.
Melted. Okay, so definitely not spider webs.
Definitely not. And then the mystery got even deeper. 62 miles away, at the Sintra Air Base, fighter pilots, getting ready for takeoff, reported the exact same stuff. These white, slimy filaments forming on their jet canopies.
Wow. So it wasn't just Evora?
No. Captain Thomas Silva, one of the pilots, he called his father Admiral Conceição Silva, who happened to be a physicist.
Okay, that's fortunate.
The admiral then called Dr. Amaral. And it quickly became clear this wasn't just local, it was happening across the country.
So what happened next is really fascinating. Dr. Amaral and Admiral Silva, they decided to meet up, right? To examine a sample of this angel hair.
They did. And under a microscope, 120 times magnification, they found something astonishing.
The living organism.
Yeah, embedded in the hair. A tiny 1 millimeter wide yellow unicellular creature.
Just one cell. And it had, 10 tentacles covered in slime?
10 slime-covered tentacles that could actually expand and move. And its legs, apparently, were strong enough to lift the microscope slides it was on.
That's incredible, and it showed defensive reaction.
Defensive mechanisms, yeah. Unlike anything they'd ever seen. Although structurally, they did note some similarities to certain jellyfish types.
So the big question jumps out. What was it?
Exactly. Some scientists back then guessed maybe a rare deep ocean jellyfish. But how? How did so many end up falling from the sky on stringy webs?
That explanation feels like a real stretch, doesn't it? Which is why other theories popped up pretty fast.
Like what? Extraterrestrials, given the UFOs?
That was one idea. Or maybe vaporized meteor fragments somehow coalescing. Or even, Cold War context, some kind of secret gas test. But the really compelling thing here is the physical evidence, an unknown biological entity. That pushes boundaries way more than just seeing something weird in the sky.
What's also incredibly strange, though, is how the discovery was basically shut down.
Yeah, the Portuguese government back then was very authoritarian. They actually called the research against God.
Against God, wow. So Amaral and Silva tried to publish.
They tried, but their efforts were completely blocked. They were threatened with suspension, publicly shamed. It effectively stopped any official work on it.
Terrible. But Emerald didn't give up, did he?
No, he didn't. He kept going, collecting hundreds of testimonies from other witnesses, people who saw the objects, the angel hair fall.
And he found out this wasn't the first time.
Right. Through his research, he learned angel hair rain had been reported throughout history. Germany in 1561, Portugal again in 1917, the USA in 1898.
It's a recurring phenomenon, and then much later, in 2008.
Yeah, an expert cell biologist finally got to examine Dr. Amaril's original photos of the creature.
And the conclusion.
Pretty chilling. The biologist stated, and I'm quoting here, this structure or microorganism is still unknown to contemporary science. I was unable to identify a single structure akin to an earthly single-cell organism.
Unknown to contemporary science. That's huge.
It's astounding. But here's the frustrating part. Those original samples Dr. Amaral collected, lost. The University of Lisbon labs burned down in the late 70s.
Oh, no.
And the only other known sample, taken by some independent researchers, that also mysteriously vanished.
So we're left with photos and testimonies, but no physical proof anymore.
Exactly. An extraordinary case with documented evidence of something unknown, just shrouded in uncertainty now.
Okay, let's shift gears now. From strange things falling from the sky to something truly chilling on the ground, often called the Brzezinski Pass.
Ah, yes, the Hamar-Daban Pass incident, August 5th, 1993, Siberia.
This involved a group of 7 mountaineers, led by a very experienced hiker, Ludmila Korovina.
Right. A young group, mostly students, eager to tackle a challenging route. But they ran into unexpected bad weather, freezing rain, snow, despite forecasts being good.
And the night before, August 4th, a questionable decision was made. Ludmila, despite her experience.
Yeah, she had them camp on a completely exposed slope during a massive thunderstorm. Not ideal.
Not ideal at all. The next morning, they start their descent, and tragedy strikes with terrifying speed.
Sasha Kreisen, 23 years old, strong, healthy kid. Ludmila apparently saw him like a son. He just suddenly collapsed.
Collapsed how?
Bleeding heavily.
Yeah.
From his nose, ears, mouth. He was dead within moments, just like that.
Horrifying. The suddenness. Ludmila must have been devastated.
Understandably distraught, yeah. She told the others, go on down, I'll stay with Sasha's body.
Okay.
But less than a minute later, they hear her screaming for help, shouting she couldn't move.
Couldn't move. They rushed back.
They did, and found her sprawled on the ground next to Sasha, blood just gushing from her face.
Oh my God, what happened then?
It just escalated into sheer horror. Timur and Vika, 2 others, healthy moments before, they start tearing at their own clothes.
Tearing their clothes off.
Yeah, then they fall down, twitching, foaming at the mouth. Another one, Dennis, he just hides behind some rocks, totally overwhelmed. And Tatiana starts banging her head against stones.
This is madness. What about Velia, the survivor?
Valia tried to help Vika, but Vika actually bit her. It was chaos, just complete breakdown.
So Valia and Dennis were the only ones still,
Okay.
relatively speaking.
For a moment, yes. They started running, fleeing down the mountain, and Dennis yelled at Valia, drop your path, just run!
Good advice in that situation.
But then Valia looked back up towards Dennis, and he was on the ground, bleeding from everywhere, nose, mouth, ears, just like Sasha and Ludmila.
Oh no. So Valia was alone.
Completely alone, no pack, no provisions. She somehow survived 3 terrifying nights wandering the mountain pass before she finally reached civilization.
Incredible resilience. What about the others? The search party?
It took a month for the search and rescue team to find the bodies. And the descriptions, just awful. Terribly contorted shapes, faces twisted in pain.
Eyes missing.
Eyes missing, mouths open like in silent screams. Just horrific scenes.
And the autopsies, what did they find?
That's the thing. Other than finding bruises in all their lungs, indicative of maybe a pressure change or suffocation, they were otherwise healthy. No obvious poisons, no injuries that explained the bleeding or behavior.
So the theory started flying. Some strange sickness. Poisoning.
Or maybe extreme hypothermia causing paradoxical undressing and bizarre behavior. That's been suggested. Or even darker theories.
Like a secret nerve agent test in Siberia.
That speculation exists, yes. But here's the most baffling part, the detail that really makes this case stand out.
What's that?
Numerous other hiking groups were in the exact same area at the exact same time, and they were completely unaffected. Nothing happened to them.
Nothing at all. So it wasn't some environmental toxin blanketing the area.
It seems highly unlikely, given that fact. It leaves you wondering, was it hyper-localized, something targeted, or some kind of extreme shared psychological event just within that one group?
We just don't know.
No definitive conclusion. It remains deeply, deeply perplexing.
Okay, let's move to another baffling case. This time, back to the skies. October 21st, 1978, over the Bass Strait in Australia.
Ah, Fred Valentich, the young pilot who disappeared.
That's the one. 20 years old. At 7:06 p.m., he radios Melbourne Air Traffic Control. He's reporting an unidentified aircraft flying about 300 meters above him.
And it seemed to be following him, right?
Yeah. Control checked, confirmed there was no other known traffic anywhere near his altitude, which immediately made it weird.
So what did Valentich say it was doing?
He described it as toying with him. Said it would race off, then approach again at really high speed. He said it was orbiting above him.
Orbiting? And it caused problems with his plane?
Yes. He reported his engine was starting to cough, running rough.
Yeah.
He described the object itself as very large, metallic, and having 4 bright green lights on its underside.
4 bright green lights?
Yeah.
Distinctive? Did he identify it?
Air traffic control asked him exactly that. Can you identify the aircraft? There was a pause. Then Fred uttered those really chilling words.
It's not an aircraft.
Exactly. And right after he said that, his transmission was cut off by this strange metallic scraping sound. And then silence.
Just gone. Radio silence.
Complete silence. And despite a huge search effort, neither Fred nor his Cessna 182L aircraft were ever seen again. Vanished.
Simply vanished. So naturally, the theories kicked in. UFO encounter seems like the obvious one for many.
Well, yeah, given his last words, the green lights, the complete disappearance. Plus, there were other UFO sightings reported around Melbourne that same night.
It all lines up for that theory, certainly, but there are skeptical explanations too.
Right. Some point out Valentich wasn't the most experienced or careful pilot. There's a theory he might have gotten disoriented, maybe even ended up flying upside down without realizing it.
Spatial disorientation. It happens, especially over water at night with no clear horizon. The idea is he might have seen his own lights reflected on the water below and thought it was another craft.
But you mentioned earlier if he was upside down in that Cessna.
Correct. That's the big counter-argument. His plane had a gravity-fed fuel system. Flying inverted, the engine would have cut out almost immediately. He likely wouldn't have been able to keep talking on the radio like he was.
So that theory has a major problem. What else? A planned disappearance.
That's another one. Fred was known to be really interested in UFOs. His father even said Fred worried constantly about aliens attacking Earth.
So maybe a hoax. He faked his own disappearance.
It's speculated. Adding fuel to that fire, apparently a light aircraft did land mysteriously near Cape Otway, not far from where he vanished, around the same time. Coincidence? Maybe.
Any other pilot error theories?
Yes, some experienced pilots and analysts suggest he simply lost control due to inexperience. Maybe entered a graveyard spiral.
A graveyard spiral.
It's where you lose your sense of the horizon, especially at night or in clouds, and you think you're turning normally, but you're actually in a tightening, descending spiral. Your senses lie to you. Without relying purely on instruments, it's easy to get into and hard to get out of.
So pilot disorientation leading to a crash.
That's the theory. But the lack of any wreckage. No oil slick, no debris, nothing still makes it puzzling. The Bass Strait isn't that deep in parts.
So ultimately, we just don't know what happened to Fred Valentich.
No. It remains a classic unsolved mystery, fueled by those strange final radio messages.
Okay, for our final story tonight, let's look up, way up, to the stars. And what many consider maybe the most convincing piece of evidence pointing towards intelligent alien life.
Ah, the wow signal.
The wow signal.
Yeah.
August 15th, 1977, 10:1 season p.m., Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope. It picked up something extraordinary.
An extremely strong narrowband radio signal. What made it so weird was, well, everything about it. Its origins seemed to be from the Sagittarius constellation area.
And its characteristics just screamed artificial, didn't they? Not like natural radio noise from space.
Exactly. It was at a frequency very close to the hydrogen line 1420 megahertz, which scientists figure is a sort of universal marker frequency aliens might use. And it had this perfect profile, rising and falling exactly as you'd expect if the telescope was sweeping past a fixed distant source. Very unnatural.
And it got its name because the scientist who found it, Jerry Eman.
Right, he was reviewing the computer printouts days later, saw this incredible spike represented by the code 6EQUJ5, circled it, and just wrote, wow, in the margin.
It really sums up the reaction, doesn't it? Wow.
It really does. And ever since then, scientists have been trying to explain it away with natural causes, but none of the explanations have really stuck.
Even Eman himself suggested maybe it was an Earth signal bouncing off space debris.
He did float that idea later, but even he admitted it was very unlikely, given the signal's specific frequency and how narrowband it was. It just didn't fit terrestrial interference or reflections well.
So, what's truly remarkable, but also incredibly frustrating,
is that it's never been heard again.
Never. Despite decades of listening, with much more advanced telescopes pointed at that same patch of sky. Nothing. No repeat. No similar signals from anywhere else.
It's like getting one single perfect postcard from across the universe and then silence.
A cosmic dial tone.
Pretty much. Its origin is still a complete mystery. But given how much scrutiny it's received and how well it fits the profile of a potential alien signal, it remains the strongest candidate we've ever detected.
An enduring question mark hanging out there in the cosmos.
Absolutely.
So there you have it. Tales that really challenge our perception of reality. Strange objects falling from the sky.
Horrifying tragedies in remote mountains.
Mysterious disappearances. And maybe, just maybe, a single word from beyond our world.
These are cases that, despite observation, analysis, investigation, they still defy easy answers. Or any answers, really.
They definitely remind us that there are still profound unknowns out there. Makes you wonder what else might be lurking just beyond our understanding, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It prompts those big questions about our place in the universe.
So, what do you make of these unsettling mysteries? Do they send a shiver down your spine? Or maybe ignite a deeper curiosity about all the secrets the universe might hold?
We hope these stories have given you something, well, something provocative to think about.
If you've been intrigued, maybe even a little spoked by these tales, we'd love it if you'd like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs. We'll have more deep explorations into the unexplained coming your way.
Definitely stick around for more.
Goodbye for now. And remember, sometimes the best things happen in the dark.